Today's video is going to be about the setup that I have for my Ranger Raptor. Obviously, this is a rooftop tent. I bought this thing used. It has a couple of leaks in the rain fly, but I'm going to fix that. Overall, it's pretty awesome. And then this is one of my hammock setups. So I'm going to show you a couple different seat setups that I had for the back of this, and it's really for when I'm out at the farm with my kids, or when I'm at volleyball practice with my daughter, or just anytime I'm sitting around while they're doing stuff and I don't have time to make it all the way home. I just set something up in the back. So I've got a 2-chair setup, I've got a different hammock setup, and then this is like a actually sleep inside of it kind of setup where it's a lay flat haven tent on the Adventure Hammock System. And then obviously the full-on tent up here. You could fit 3 people in here, 2 people comfortably, 3 people could fit in there for sure, and it has a sleeping pad, so that's nice too. But anyway, this is not really a video about the truck itself. It's about the accessories and how I mount different things on the back. And I absolutely love it. Everybody who sees it thinks it's awesome. I take it to the horse farm all the time, and I'm out there sitting, and everybody who comes in says, man, I need that for horse shows. Or when I was a kid, I used to go to swim meets all the time, and this would have been perfect for hanging out during a swim meet. You just get in your hammock, chill out for a while, go do your 2-minute event, and then wait for 4 hours for your next 5-minute event, and then wait for 3 hours for your 30-second event. I mean, a lot of us do this stuff. It is what it is. When you have kids, you end up sitting around a lot. So anyway, that's what this is. I love all the different setups that I have. I'm gonna tear it down now so you can see how quick it comes down, but I'll put that at the end of the video so you can see all the other stuff and then the tear down. Cheers. This only takes about a minute to set up, and then I have this simple hammock that I just bought from Cabela's. It's a parachute hammock, super light, tiny little bag. It comes with some straps so you can set it up wherever you want, but I set it up in here, and then the bag is part of the tent, or the hammock itself, and it comes with 2 carabiners that just clip right in to this standard length here. But basically those 2 clips, and we're in it. And then I just hang out until it's time to be done at the farm. And one thing I noticed in the hammock is your feet are up and your hips are supported, but your knees don't have anything under them. So after about 30 minutes or so, for me anyway, you're hyperflexing your knees and it starts to get uncomfortable. In these parachute hammocks, you can actually pull the side a little bit, still have your feet supported, and get a little bit under your knees. So there's different ways. I also have inflatable pillows that I'll fill up, put that under my knees, under my head, but pretty sweet setup here. So this is just a super basic, if I've only got a couple minutes and I don't want to sit inside my truck or anything like that. The next part, if I have a little bit longer and I still just want this hammock, so this is just for a shade system. This setup is called the Adventure Hammock System, and they also sell these little poles that you can adjust in and out of there, and this shade. So I bought both because it's already kind of integrated in. You don't have to find your own ways to hook it up. It's super convenient. I'm usually in a parking lot, not out in grass where I could put stakes in the ground. So I always carry this 6-gallon thing of water. It's only about 3 gallons in there, so it's like 24, 25 pounds. It's definitely enough unless it's super, super windy. And I could just tie it straight to it and have it come down, but I did. It also comes with a pole. So when you order the shade, you get a pole with it. And there we go. So now, if it's a hot day, I've also got a shade. This is pretty darn nice. If it's super windy, this isn't gonna hold, that's gonna tip over. Once I did this, that tipped over, it pulled this thing down, and then that unclipped, and nothing, like the whole system didn't fall out, the hammock didn't fall out, but then this was flopping around. So on just a normal day, this is pretty good to go. This is my standard setup with and without the shade. And then the next tent setup is my favorite one. It's more of a camping tent. It's a lay flat, it's a haven tent. If you've heard of it, they're pretty awesome. Putting this tent away is so easy. The bag's in it, you just clip the carabiners together, shove it in there, and just shove the whole thing in. The haven tent is a little bit longer. So you just extend these. This is the XL kit. It basically just adds another 8 inches to each side. So you can put an 11-foot instead of a 10-foot hammock. Because 8 inches here ends up being 12 inches at the angles and all that stuff, geometry. The haven tent is a lot more involved. It's a lay flat tent, so it uses a tension line. You have to fill up a inflatable air mattress that goes in it that keeps it all flat. But once it's set up, holy cow, it's pretty awesome. The only downside to it is that it doesn't breathe. So when you lay on it, it's like laying on a piece of plastic where, I mean, it can't breathe because it's got to hold the air in, but you lay on it, and if you're just wearing shorts or something, your legs start to sweat, you get stuck to it. So if you're out camping, you have like an actual sleeping bag and everything, but if you're just laying in it, maybe bring like a bed sheet or something. I don't know. I haven't totally figured that one out, but I think the coolest thing about this is that it has a mosquito net on it built into it. So you're not going to get attacked by flies when you're out at the horse farm or just any bugs wherever you are. So I really like that about it. If you have trees, use trees, but if you're out in a parking lot, this truck system is pretty awesome. One of the really cool things about this, so this is the sleeping pad itself. This bag is completely airtight. So you take the inside sleeve of it out, and if you didn't have a pump, you can use this. You put this into the thing, and then basically you grab here and you just keep shoving air into it. It takes a lot longer, but it comes with it. So you don't need to buy a pump. I bought a pump just because it makes it easier, but with the first time I did it, I used this and it worked just fine. It just took about 5 minutes to get it inflated. But you do not need to buy a pump. This bag works as a pump. It is completely airtight. So you basically fill it as much as you can. You pinch the top and you just squeeze all the air from here and hook it on here. But I bought this little battery pump from Amazon for like 20 bucks. And not only is it, oh, I tied it in a knot. There we go. Not only is it a battery pump, but it's also got a USB so that you can use it as a battery for like your phone or something. It also has a little light in it. Anytime you can get more than one use out of something, that's awesome. So I'm going to use this to fill it up. All right, and it has a one-way valve, so once it's full, it's not going to all come, air's not all going to come pouring out of there. If you fill it up in the middle of the day when it's super hot outside and then it cools down a bunch overnight, obviously this is going to deflate a little, not deflate, but the pressure is going to go down a little bit inside of here. So you might have to fill it up if you start sinking into it, but that's with any air mattress. So it seems like it's totally bowed up right now. And that's just so that when you do get in it, it does lay flat. But that's just the way, because it's pinching the two sides. So before I get in it, I'm going to put the rain fly because it's starting to rain just a bit. These little holes on here can hook to this. So if you were just like in a rainstorm and you wanted it tied down, you just tie it down here. There's one in the middle and one on that side. But I'm going to set it up as more of a shade that's going out to here. All right, so I got my shade, get in there. You wouldn't be able to see me, but anyway. And then the other side, I would just like tie up there, put two stakes on that side, but that's the idea. So you are completely protected from the rain, from the sun with this thing. And then if it's really windy and rainy, you undo these clips and hook this thing down there. But then it's probably gonna get like stifling hot in there, which in the winter, maybe that's great. But in the summer, I think I'd rather get rained on. So this is a inflatable camping pillow, like $19 on Amazon. Just makes life a little more comfortable when you're laying around for a while. So you won't get attacked by bugs. And then you're laying pretty flat. There's a little bit of a sag, but that's just, I mean, it's about as close as you can get to laying totally flat in a hammock. So if you're gonna lay for a long time, very comfortable. But like I said, it does not breathe at all. Like you get air flowing through here, but your legs are right on a piece of plastic that doesn't breathe, so it gets sweaty. All right, so this battery powered fan has a hook and you've got this line on here. So what I do is I set it up on the line down by my feet. It has a remote, but I just turn it on with the buttons. So now I've got my fan, got my pillow. The fan is just on medium. It is totally silent. Anyway, pillow, fan, and just hang out until they're done riding horses or done at the swim meet or done at volleyball camp or whatever they're doing. The fan makes all the difference. and I don't have the fan set up when I'm in my other one, but I could just put a rope between the two poles and hang this thing from that and have it pointing straight down at me. So now that I say that, I think I will start doing that, because sometimes that big parachute hammock is a lot more easy and convenient to set up if I'm only going to be there for like an hour or less. This is if I'm going to be there for 2 or 3 hours and I don't want to watch them, you know, tack up the horses and let them graze and all that stuff. So this is pretty darn perfect. Very comfortable. It does have the capability, if your head's on this side, to tighten that strap, and then it turns it into like a chaise, so your head's up a little higher, so you could like be sitting up just a little bit to maybe read or play on your phone or something. I think one thing I'm going to do is set up something where my phone kind of hangs from here, so I can just look up and watch a movie. So that's my second setup. And those are the two main hammock setups that I use. So the way this packs together is you put the tent in here, you got your sleeping pad here, and then it comes with this cover. And then you got your whole setup right here. Pretty convenient. It's definitely not light. It weighs probably 10 pounds. So I wouldn't want to backpack with this, but for throwing it in the back of your truck and having a level place to sleep, it's pretty awesome. So there we go. That is the Adventure Hammock System with a parachute hammock and my Haven tent. I love them. They're so cool. And then I can set up with a water tank. I can set up a shade with two tent stakes. If you're out in the grass or the dirt, you can put your stakes out there. It's a great way to just relax when you're waiting for someone, or you just have your truck somewhere and you found a cool place to look. You just want to hang out for a while. And then up next, well, let me show you how easy this thing is to put away. I keep this right here and I put my water jug right there, and then everything is back where it needs to be. I'm going to take this thing off of here because this is for the Adventure one. I need to get to the hitch there to get my bed extender from Yakima on there. So this is an add-on thing that I had. It basically just goes around the hitch and holds this thing in place so it doesn't wobble around, because it just has the pin going through it. So this just keeps it from rattling, because I keep it on here all the time. This is the Yakima Long Arm. It actually doesn't use a regular pin. It uses a bolt that goes and actually threads into this, so you don't need that anti-rattle thing for this one, because this actually tightens in there to the point where this thing is holding everything in place without moving, which is pretty nice. This extension pole is not part of it when you buy it. This is separate, so, and you have to have this for the chairs, otherwise it goes too low. And really this thing is a lot more useful if you had the extension. So overall, I think this whole setup's like 300 bucks. It's made out of aluminum, not steel, so it's very light, but it also bends a little bit. It can hold 300 pounds in the fully extended form, which is actually pretty darn good, but you definitely see it bending. So this is all secured. Like I said, 300 pounds is what it's capable of. I weigh like 220, 215. So definitely holds. Now I'm just going to put these two chairs on it with a single strap. So as you can probably already tell, this is a little bit longer of a process. Okay, so that is the setup for the two chairs that I used. This was my first kind of proof of concept when I was doing this. It's actually really comfortable, and for me, like I said, being pretty heavy, I want this right over here, because you can tell just on one side it bends a lot. It's not made to have 300 pounds over here, because there's so much aluminum along the way, and when I get in it, everything bends. I mean, it comes down, this bends out, but it's definitely sturdy and pretty comfortable. So I sat for hours out at the horse farm like this. I used to, a couple times I took a tarp, put it over this, made like a makeshift shade, but it was nothing like the one I have for the hammocks. So that is the new, the gold standard on how I'm gonna do the shades. But you know, I have the rack to tie it to there. I can come over this and then tie it to something out there. But anyway, this is good. My kids really like this, because then they can both sit in it, both have their own chairs, swing around a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to show you, this was the first thing. I got these chairs for 35 bucks at Lowe's. They were on sale. Like I said, I already had this thing, but it's definitely not cheap, but it's more multifunctional than the hammock thing, because all you can use the hammock thing is for hammocks. It's not tall enough for chairs. You can't use it for like an extension of your bed rack. So this thing is versatile. But the downside to this is you couldn't put like 2 pretty big people on it, like 2 full-grown adults. I wouldn't want 2 full-grown adults being on either side of it. That's just a lot of different torques and stuff. It's not what it's made for. It's made for like having lumber across it or something going all the way forward, or some kayaks, some surfboards, something like that. So anyway, I like this setup. My kids like this setup. It works really well. Everybody who sees it thinks it's awesome, and they ask me where I got it. So this is it. The next thing I'm going to show you is on this same setup, how I set up my shower. And I did it on this because I didn't want to hard man it to my rack, because my rack is the mid-level. So the shower tent would be like here. I wanted it all the way up here. So that's next. I'm going to take this down and then I'll show you that. So if you're wondering how much water a tonneau cover lets in, the answer is a lot. That's why I keep everything either in a waterproof bag or these bins. This thing is basically like a 3-foot by 3-foot shower with no, or a tent with no roof. But basically it comes with some mounting brackets. These are the actual mounting brackets it came with. They're supposed to be put on the other way, and you're supposed to bolt it to something on your vehicle. So what I did is I got some pipe that goes around the outside of this, cut parts of it out, riveted it to a piece of like the same angle iron you use to put up garage doors and stuff. And then I put this here to press on here once it's on there. So basically it just snaps on, and it stays pretty well secured in place. There we go. And it has a zipper on the back corner here to get inside the shower, attached to the Yakima Long Arm. And then you've got this, you can get inside here. A lot of times I just take a 2-gallon weed sprayer and just clean myself off with that. But if I'm actually gonna go out for a while, this is what I have. They make a shower pan like thing that you can hook these to so it's down, but I just have a 3-foot by 3-foot like mat that I just throw down there and stand on it. Same. And then like I said, I made these pipes pretty tight on here so they don't just pop off. You gotta give it a little bit of a There we go. I could file them down a little bit so they get looser, but I figure over time they'll get a little looser, and I'd rather have them tight than loose. Okay, I crawled under my truck, found the nut that I lost. I'm done doing the stuff in the grass. It's a pretty stupid idea in the first place. Next up, I'm gonna open this thing up and show you what that looks like, but it's starting to rain, so I might give it a couple minutes. All right, well, it's 8:15. I wasn't gonna do this tonight, but my kids said they wanna camp out here by themselves. And if they wanna sleep out here, I'm not gonna stop them. In the middle of the wilderness. So that remote, you can turn the lights on and off, you can turn all the other stuff. And then
and the fan?
And the fan, yeah.
Wow.
So, hey, while you're in here, look over here.
Yeah.
That button turns off the lights.
This one?
Yeah, so if you touch that button, and then touch it again, there you go.
And then this, wait, so if I hit off, okay.
Which one looks like a light? There you go. Press it again. Press it again, press it again, press it again, press it again. There you go. You can go through all the different lights. All right, have fun sleeping in the wilderness.
We will.
I'll see you in about an hour when you come inside.
Okay.
Can't believe you're sleeping out here all by yourself.
Yeah.
I would sleep out here, but I'm not crazy.
I know.
So have fun.
But I am.
Good night, girls.
Good night.
Have fun out here. It's the next morning. My kids convinced me to sleep out here with them, so I slept up in the tent. Not nearly as comfortable as a bed, but way more comfortable than sleeping on a gymnastics mattress like we first set up in the back of our truck bed tent. Just for comfort's sake, we have this battery powered fan, which is actually really awesome. It was like 35 bucks on Amazon. It's a light, it's a battery that can charge your stuff, and it's also a fan and it oscillates a little bit. But to me, the coolest thing was that it hangs and it's a little bit low, But for me, like, I can put my feet past it and it just blows air, and it's just so much more comfortable when it's a little bit hot and humid. That thing really makes a difference, because when there's a light breeze, the breeze doesn't make it through this tiny little sheet too much. And then you've also got solid material here, so you get some flow. If it was really windy, it'd be fine, but just on a light breeze day, not a whole lot makes it through this, and those are the days when the bugs are the worst, so you definitely want this down. So that fan inside is amazing, and she really liked the light. So this is where I slept with my youngest daughter, and since we're at home, we had all the stuff, and it was super hot, so we had our Ego fan out here just on low. It lasted all night. It didn't even use half the battery. And then we also had a light just in case we needed it, and a Ego charger, which is up in that back corner. We didn't leave that on all night because it does get a little bit warm, and we didn't want any issues with that. This light was good because there is no light on this fan, but it was pretty darn comfortable. The pad was good. The rain fly worked really well, but I could tell the seams need a little bit of work, so I'm gonna put some butyl tape on the seams today just to make sure we don't get any water coming through here. But overall, this tent was fantastic. And like you saw, it only takes about 30 minutes to set up everything. So this was our test. There's a campsite next to a river called Elizabeth Furnace out in Virginia. There's also a couple off-road trails out there, so we are going to go camp out there probably this coming week, play in the river, do some off-roading, and then do this whole setup. So that's it. That's our setup. Really enjoyed, well, I don't want to say I enjoyed sleeping in it last night because I could have been in my bed, but it works really well. It all fits in the bed of the truck, and that's pretty much it. All right, so it's been 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I did that solo. Not very difficult to do. That was with getting everything out of it. I mean, not bad at all. It took me about 30 minutes to get it all set up last night. I do want to show you, this is the fan. So it will rotate, and you can set it to 45 degrees or 90 degrees. You can set a timer on it. It has a light. You can set a sleep feature where it turns off after 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours. I think that's it. But the cool thing about it that I really liked is that it has this hook, so I can hang it from in there down by my feet, angle it at me, and then it's got this remote, so I can just turn it on, and it works really well. And then, like I said, it has the light, basically 5 modes. Light, dim white lights, dim yellow lights, bright white lights, bright yellow lights, and then both of them on all the way around for the brightest you can get, and then off. So my daughter had this on for 12 hours last night at like the second setting, and it still has battery. The other thing it has on the back is some USB. So this is how you charge it, but these are also connected to the battery, so you can charge your devices with it. So to me, this was a multi-purpose thing. The light is key. This charging capability is awesome. I really like that too. So anyway, this is the fan from Amazon. I don't even see the brand on here, but I will put the link to the one I bought if you're interested in it, because I do like it a lot. All right, all packed up. And as I was packing it, I realized I didn't say which one this was. So they have 3 different types of Haven tents. There's the standard, there's the XL or something like that, and then there's the Safari. The Safari is heavier. This whole thing is probably like 10 pounds, but it's higher quality, not higher quality, more durable material. And then I got the lay flat pad. They have a couple different pads. This is the one I wanted. It's the latest one they've come out with, and for a bigger guy, it'll keep me from sagging in the middle, because it's good front to back, but from side to side, like if you're laying in the hammock this way, it'll bow in the middle where your butt is, but you'll be straight from your head to your feet lengthwise. And this pad fixes that. So really good. I like it a lot. So that was about 28 minutes. Not too bad. I did it all by myself. So like if I had my kids out there, I'd just tell them to go, find something to play with, maybe see if they'd help me. But another adult would make it a lot easier putting this thing away. Kid, if you trust them to roll something up or put something in a bag, be good. But as I always say, if you want something done your way, do it yourself. And I'm very particular about what goes in what bin, so I know where to find stuff, and so it all fits. So I just do it by myself, but if they wanted to help, I'd find something for them to do. Anyway, 33 minutes to set up, 28 minutes to tear down. I mean, there are faster ways, and as I do it more, it'll get quicker and quicker, but I like it. It's awesome. So hopefully you enjoy seeing all the other ones, or having seen all the other ones.
It's over!